Hello everybody, welcome back to SummoNerds. I'm Evan.
And I'm Matt.
Today we've got a really cool one for you, I think anyway. It's Torgan versus Mad Sirian.
Yeah, actually I don't think we've ever done this matchup before.
No.
And it ended up being really interesting from both sides in a number of ways that we'll hopefully show here.
Yeah, and you get 3 games in 1 in this one, which is really cool. Mm-hmm. So I hope you enjoyed that element of it. It means all of them are really fast and brutal. There are no pulled punches in this matchup.
That's kind of often how just Mad Sirian, I at least when I'm playing him and you're playing him, they tend to go anyway because we're just getting up there and whacking.
See, for me, it's true unless Mad Sirian plays a heavy defensive role, which he doesn't need to play against Torgan. He can be aggressive, but if he were to play against like Sam Farthen, maybe,
then
you'd want to be a little bit defensive, and then those games can last a while potentially.
Right.
But if he's being the aggressor, then man, those things can go fast.
Although even then, because Sam wants to close the game off quickly, so sometimes Sam getting up there means the game ends quickly one way or the other.
That's very true. So Matt's going first here, getting that Berserker up in position, and the shooter.
Who knows what he'll do?
Looks like that shooter might shoot that Warlock. That's what I would do.
Yeah, the shooter's going to shoot that Warlock.
So I'm playing Mad Sirian, and Matt's playing Torgan. Mm-hmm. In case we didn't say that already, I don't think we did.
Yeah, that's true.
There we go. Getting the Crusher into position too.
Oftentimes, I'll just kind of sacrifice my Crusher to hit something and just see what happens. My beginning Crusher, just because like one way I'll just get him as magic, the other way I'll get something else as magic. So it's. Yeah. But in this instance, I had a specific reason. I just kind of wanted to preserve it for a while. Just had a different mentality about the Crusher and seeing how that goes. For the rest of this game. But I think I did 1 wound to that Warlock, so that's fine. Now the decision I made was to not attack the shooter with Torgan. Maybe.
Yeah, I believe that is the case.
Because I know at the time I was thinking about it, and I know...
It would leave Torgan open to a counterattack.
Right, and that's what I like. And knowing Mad Sirian... I could get a fairly unpleasant counterattack.
It's also possible that it's not worth it this early in the game because then you'd have to deal with a wounded Torgan for the rest of the game who's very vulnerable to an assassination from Mad Sirian.
Right, and that's when Sirian gets wounds on you can interestingly just very easily get that last wound.
Yeah.
A couple cards, Reanimate and Searching the Stone, both let him place a wall and then summon cards.
Yep.
So, summoning during the event phase.
And vampires can fly over things.
Yep, creating space for new things to shoot.
And warlocks are easy to get out with range. Mm-hmm. And Forbidden Ritual. And with Searching the Stone, you could have all of those in one hand very easily, as well as a wall. So, you can pull off crazy huge combos with Sirian in one turn, easily getting 4 wounds on your opponent. So, if you were at 4 wounds with Torgan, that'd be kind of a big deal. It's probably wise to leave your shooter there, even though... With most other matchups, I'd probably want to take that magic and deny my opponent that magic.
Right.
But it looks like I got the shooter. We're going to see if my ghoul can do anything.
And see if that ghoul keeps all its health this turn or not.
And the answer is no.
It did do a wound to the Berserker. And if I was playing Mad Sirian, I would do the same thing. I tend to suicide my ghoul as well, just to see... It has 3 health, so I like to use it like typically once or twice for its attack, and then hopefully itself kills itself, or if it does kill something, maybe you can just kill it right back.
Well, and in this instance, you have 0 magic, so you're not summoning anything this turn.
Right.
Which means that the only thing that can hit that is the Berserker, unless you pull Torgan all the way up to the front line and choose to attack it with Torgan, which would put Torgan in a really bad position. So I'm assuming the Berserker is the only thing attacking it, which makes it's like a 50-50 chance, right, that the ghoul lives in that with that roll?
Yeah.
Yeah, so, 50-50 on a unit I don't actually want that badly anyway.
Right, exactly.
In my opening lineup. So it could do something great for me and give me 2 magic and kill me a Berserker, or it could just die. Mm-hmm. And probably still leave the Berserker in a position where I can kill it next turn, so...
Right.
Nothing really wrong with my position right now.
And I have Bragg in this deck because the idea was I get some ice walls out and get them that heavy fortification later.
Absolutely.
So they'll have to be hit on 5s or higher. Hopefully get some nice shifts going. That's the strategy I have in mind for this deck.
Need some ice
I also
golems
had
in this deck as well.
Ice
right?
golems, yep, definitely.
So you can make them really hard to kill also.
Yep, you can stack ice armor, so you could potentially have one ice golem with 3 ice armors on it.
They can only be hit on 5s and 6s if you have Bragg.
Yep, and that can be shifted around.
Gosh.
So
Torgan has some really cool options.
And with the new invaders coming out,
oh my gosh.
you can shift and then summon an invader, which is amazing.
Shift over units and
Yep.
then summon.
Yep.
That's big. Off of an ice golem.
Yeah, potentially have Bragg boosting them still. So
Yeah.
So they're so my Berserker just cleaning house.
So that went about as well as it could have for you, or except for the Warlock lived.
Yep, the Warlock did not go down. So Torgan is open to an attack this turn. Potentially more than one attack, just knowing how Mad Sirian can throw things down. He doesn't have a discard pile yet, so it's not too concerning, just because the magic is low.
I might make that mistake. I know I make that mistake in one of these games, not thinking about needing something in the discard pile for reanimate to work. Okay, so I've got a wall.
There's Karthos searching the stone.
Fallen Phoenix
That's not
Cultist,
Karthos,
another Fallen Phoenix Cultist.
Those are Cultists, not Karthos.
Yes,
My apologies.
Searching the Stone and a Fallen Kingdom Cultist. I went Cultists in this deck. I just kind of wanted to see what they were like. I like that they have high health for him. So Searching the Stone, gonna do a wound to him. And then I think how I showed my hand, if I remember correctly, was I just showed the next 5 cards I drew, so not to show 10 cards in a row, which can be kind of disorienting.
Yep. And this was an interesting question we even had on the posted on the question dump, was because the wording on Searching the Stone says draw 5 cards.
Yeah.
It doesn't say draw up to 5. So we are unsure actually still if you can just draw, if you have less than 5 in your deck, if you can even play Searching the Stone.
Yeah, we don't know if that's that would count as a prerequisite for using the card, or if that is its benefit and therefore you could draw less because the wound is the only prerequisite. It's hard to know for sure. I think it's possible you can't use it.
Yeah.
But in this instance, it didn't matter.
Because we still have all our...
So it's my
There's a
Forbidden Ritual, reanimates, and Vampire, and another Searching the Stone, which I can't play this turn. Because that's also part of Searching the Stone's ability. So, I do have the wall, I have reanimates. I already played Searching the Stone, so I could summon. And I have plenty of commons that I could summon.
Yep, summon, get something in the discard, and then able to reanimate those.
And I have a Forbidden Ritual, so potentially I could very easily get a lot of dice on Torgan this turn. I could get 6 very easily with just the Fallen Kingdom Cultist and my Warlock. Or I could get a Fallen Phoenix Cultist and the Warlock, and the Fallen Phoenix Cultist would have 2, but could maybe hit a 6.
Yep.
So, if the Fallen Phoenix Cultist happened to hit a 6 and a regular die, if it happened to hit both of those things, then I would have odds to win with the Warlock alone.
I like Fallen Phoenix Cultists and Mad Sirian also because of the boosted die potential. And if you have Helkar, could potentially get up to 4 dice if you do a double Forbidden Ritual.
That is big.
Yeah. So you can...
You're actually likely to hit a 6 on that roll.
Yep. You have odds to hit a 6 with 4 dice. But here we could even summon, play Forbidden Ritual, summon something like a Vampire, and both the Warlock and the Vampire would deny themselves after they attacked.
Believe it or not, I believe I had the Vampire in my hand, and that Searching the Stone. I believe Vampire was one of those cards. You can correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure I did. And if you killed the Warlock, I had odds to win.
Yeah.
So you attacked a Warlock with 1 life left and missed both with Torgan. And if you hadn't missed both, then I would have had Vampire where the Warlock is, and the Cultist, and Mad Sirian.
Mad Sirian, yep.
For 9 dice.
9 dice.
Or I could have the Fallen Phoenix Cultist and have 8 dice, but if I hit a 6, then I'm like very, very likely to win. It's kind of debatable. I probably would have just gone Fallen Kingdom in that case. Not gone for the crazy 6.
Yeah.
That's probably wiser in that. But 8 to hit 6 is still good odds.
8 to hit 6, yeah. I would do the 9.
I would do it too.
Yeah.
That's what I would do. Because you're more likely to hit more than 6 wounds with the Fallen Phoenix Cultist, but you're less likely to actually reach 6 wounds altogether. And all you need is 6. You don't need more. So that's what I would have done.
See, that is just crazy that Mad Sirian
So
could have just done.
in the second turn, I would have had odds to win on a full life summoner, not even like a particularly low life summoner, like a pretty normal, reasonable one.
Yeah.
In the second turn.
Like, these summoners have steady jobs, so that's not what he meant either.
No, yeah, they're not low lives. I did hit a 6. I just didn't hit the second die, so now I have to hit a 3 for 3 if I want it. And I don't hit anything.
You didn't want it.
Yeah, I don't hit anything.
Did not want
so that was
that.
unfortunate.
Yeah. I didn't want it either, so it's good.
But Mad Sirian can still kill the Warlock, which means he's not going to take a wound this turn from Forbidden Ritual.
Yep, and that was absolutely the play to do there because the Warlock was going to die anyway.
And the Cultist will die because he put 2 wounds on him from his ability, and then Forbidden Ritual kills him. So I get magic back from it, which was awesome. I get to deny my own powerful attack.
Yep, exactly.
And it's really unlikely that you have 4 glory this early and enough cards to make me regret what I did.
Yep. Now exactly. And the denial is big because that's a decent economy advantage for Mad Sirian already.
Yep.
And I'm already halfway dead.
Yep.
As Torgan, so like you don't really need, you don't want the positioning there still necessarily.
No, that's not. Well, and I can always with Mad Sirian you can get positioning back instantly. I could just play my second Searching the Stone next turn and get my wall probably in those cards, and then reanimate again.
Yep, that's.
And then I've got a vampire right in range of Torgan. I mean that's so easy to do.
Yep. So here goes a Berserker.
Yeah, Matt forgot to show his hand there. Berserker
and
a Thwarter.
I have Thwarters.
Ice armor. We're going to see a lot of the hand, I think, here, so it doesn't really matter too much.
So yeah, Ice armor on the Berserker and a Thwarter. So this is big
and for glory.
And for glory. So I have a good hand, but
so
this is nice.
What I was worried about just happened.
Yep. So this
the only thing that could have really killed me here.
This is a 8 to hit 5, but the Berserker has the 50-50 per die, so it's...
So 6 of those 8 are not as good.
Right.
She's only supposed to hit 3 with that, and then it's you have to go 2 for 2 with the...
I think it's a 50. It's a 50-50 for the Berserker to go 4, right?
Oh yeah, it's 50. Well, yeah, 50. No, it's not 50-50 for it to go 4. It's like a high probability of it going 3 and lower than 50-50 for it to go 4. Because it has 6 dice it's rolling all together. It should roll 3 and it should not roll 4.
Right, but I thought
it would be 50-50 if it was an odd number like 5. It would have a 50-50
right,
3 out of 5.
Yeah.
So,
right,
so you were basically
correct.
Supposed to not do this, but then you did. You did with flying colors.
Yep. So that was the first game. Now the idea was I had an ice armor on the Berserker so that it wasn't. If Mad Sirian wanted to attack it, it wasn't going to accept those wounds, so Mad Sirian would keep his wounds.
Yes, so I wouldn't have drained any life on that one, and hitting the Thwarter was also unlikely to get both of those.
So even if I got 5 wounds on Mad Sirian, I would deny him from playing any of his events.
Yes.
Which would be big.
Yeah, and I did have a great hand to get out of that maybe, and I had positioning to maybe again kind of wall off Sirian and get that game going and then that game could have gone forever. But Torgan has great assassination potential as well, especially with ice golems and ice armors. So and glacial shift. So that game was by no means won if I had not lost that turn.
Right.
So it was definitely anyone's game after that. I'm sad my one play didn't work, but it was a good. I mean, I didn't have odds to win that turn.
Slightly different. I guess I went first last time. That's probably why. So the Ghoul came in, took out my Berserker.
Or shooter, I think.
Yeah, that's what I said.
That's what you said. The wrong thing. Our viewers know it.
They know I was joking. Who would say a shooter is a Berserker? No one. Anyway. So now
I killed my vampire because I didn't need it in the first turn. I've got more vampires in the deck. That's one that I took out all the ghouls because I just typically don't use them. They aren't as good for positioning because even though they have Krung, because they typically have 3 life, but they typically only have 2 because it's rare that in the first turn they're summoned they're able to kill something. So it's unlikely that they have 3 life very long, whereas the fallen Phoenix Cultists have 3 much more frequently and can perform a deadly attack, potentially. So I just prefer them. I just kind of think of Fallen Phoenix Cultists as replacing the ghouls. Fallen Kingdom Cultists are just... If I've got Fallen Phoenix Cultists, I'll probably throw in Helkar.
Yep.
And then if I throw in Helkar, I should throw in some Fallen Kingdom Cultists too, because they're just kind of typically decent units. There's nothing really wrong with them. They're like decent attack, and they have a pretty decent ability. Decent would be the word I would use to describe them.
Yes, we haven't heard decent enough in the past 30 seconds. So
you did a little wound there to my ghoul.
Yeah. Now I was thinking of something else interesting in Mad Syrian's deck potentially. Perhaps Zombie Warriors combined with Forbidden Ritual could get us that, and maybe even Karthos, resurrecting a Zombie Warrior with Forbidden Rituals on, getting the precise on something to resurrect another Zombie Warrior that also has 3 dice this turn.
I really like the Zombie Warriors in general. Actually, I don't use them as often because they are a little harder to rely upon.
Yeah, I'm the same, but I think it'd be really cool.
One of my best wins ever though was using Zombie Warriors with Ret and chaining them massively.
On the app I've also been able to do that a couple times, but on the board I typically don't play with Zombie Warriors. Just because we have access to Warlocks and stuff like
Warlocks
that.
are just so good.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna try to go for Torgan here, and if I don't, then it's not really a problem. I'll definitely kill the Berserker. I say definitely. I'll very likely kill the Berserker. Mad Syrian's getting into a better position. I like to play with him kind of up near the midline. I don't necessarily like to go all the way into my opponent's territory with him.
Yeah, we can't necessarily go guns blazing with Mad Syrian because he needs to be able to play those events.
But I like keeping him up there a little bit because I want to use his events like Reanimate and Searching the Stone. And so if you hide him in your back corner, you're eventually going to kill your own summoner. Or leave him vulnerable to a quick assassination, which Torgan is more than capable of pulling off. So I don't want to give that. I want to keep him up there where he can be taking back life every couple turns. So it looks like I didn't kill the Berserker. I said definitely, but that's not true at all.
I
don't know what's going on. I think you're a little worried that he was not in the right spot. I'm pretty sure he was.
I don't remember that discussion.
Or maybe you were just reliving my turn with me. We were just
I don't know what
reminiscing about
going on
30 seconds ago. That's what was happening. We were reminiscing.
I think the Berserker can push things when they attack out. I don't know.
I mean, it's pretty angry.
Stay away from me. I need time to think.
We forgot the wound on my ghoul.
That's Perhaps what that was all about.
New card, new card, errata. The Berserker's new ability is called Angry Shove.
I just want to be alone, it said, and push the Warlock away.
We've gone too far.
The Warlock said, "You can't shut me out," so stayed up there.
So, alright, Matt's trying to figure out exactly how to ruin me this turn. That's what's going on right now. He can do it somehow. He can do some big thing. But Torgan being where he is actually a little harder. I mean, actually...
here we go again, I guess. I don't...
Keeping Torgan in his back row is probably wise for right now because... Even though you want Torgan up probably nearer to the midline too, so that when his ability is used...
start getting some ice walls up in decent territory.
Yeah, exactly. You want to leave him with some room around him so that when he uses Glacial Surge, you have place to put the walls, and then Glacial Shift, you don't have to cross the whole board to get those walls into position. But against Mad Syrian, looks like you used your regular ability there. That's cool.
I'm using my regular ability to get an ice wall in a reasonable spot for where we are in this game right now.
Defending a little bit. Yes, so the reason it's nice to have him back right now, though, is that Mad Syrian, if your summoner is anywhere but the back row, Mad Syrian has 8 different ways he can get to you. It's just so easy.
Yep, very true.
With Mad Syrian to rush your opponent and surround them.
I did just slap an ice armor on that shooter. The goal here is I'm trying not to create too many targets for Mad Syrian. I think I did take it back just now. or Evan took it. To
I just wanted to read it
to re-clarify because we haven't used Torgan in a while.
Yeah,
and sometimes ice armor can get confused with like a
Rune of Shielding.
Rune of Shielding.
That's the one I always confuse it with, and they're not the same.
No, ice armor is just much better.
Yeah, I'd say that's probably true. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just nice to be able to read up on it again real fast. I wanted to make sure I knew what I was doing so that whatever Matt was planning could be foiled. That was the goal.
That's
so all right,
tall
we're gonna see.
order for sure. So
You're supposed to be able to kill both the Ghoul and the Warlock this turn.
Yep,
That's
the idea.
Torgan kills the Ghoul. The other two should be able to kill the Warlock, probably. So we got a nice one hit there with the Berserker. That's reasonable.
So
that's about all it was supposed to be able to do. And the shooter's
now the shooter's going to kill him.
There we go. And that's a good move. Now you've got 5 units out total, including your summoner, and I've got nothing.
Yep.
So, got a little bit of a comeback to make. But Sirian can do that.
Yep.
He is one of my favorite summoners.
Mad Sirian is one of he's all the Fallen Kingdom summoners I really enjoy. Every single one of them.
See, I think I prefer over all of them Mad Sirian.
Yeah,
I just really enjoy his fast-paced game style.
I might at this point also.
Forbidden Ritual, Vampire, Cultists. One more card maybe? Thinking about it. There we go, Wall.
So we do have a Wall and a Reanimate possibility.
It looks like the Wall is going down and trying to decide. I think this is the game. I'm like, Reanimate right now. I'll prove myself right in a second, I think.
Like you're trying to reanimate
there
like some tumbleweed.
Yeah, exactly. Reanimate, and then Matt reminds me, Evan, you need something in your discard to be able to use that. And I say, oh yes, thank you. Can I take that back?
It's like when you open the pantry and it's just like a spider.
Yeah, exactly. You remember you ate all your food yesterday.
Yeah, exactly.
You forgot to go to the store.
Flies out or something.
Yeah, exactly. Some mushrooms growing.
Yeah.
So I decided to buy something so that I'll have stuff to reanimate. And then I remember when I pay for it here, I'm going to flip over these cards. Come on past me. There we go. Flip over the cards, and I realize both of them are events, so I can't reanimate those.
Still can't reanimate. You could have checked your magic pile before you...
I could. Well, I knew I had units in there, so I built magic poorly the previous turn. I should have built my units on top, but I had forgotten that reanimate required them to be in the discard anyway.
Or mine, but interesting. Yeah, that's something I forget about. Not so much now, but it's something I had forgotten about a lot of when I was playing Mad Sirian in the past. Was that reanimate can reanimate them out of your opponent's discard pile as well,
which is great.
Yeah.
So I decided to go ahead and put my wall down. Now that I've got 2 units out, I had to pay 4 magic just to use reanimate. So now I'm getting more units out than I can use this turn, which is typically something I would say is a no-no. But in this position, I had really bad positioning because of all of Matt's units. So in this one instance, I'll make an exception and say this was okay to do.
Yeah, and like with magic like that.
Who needs enemies?
But that's not what I was going to say, but I was going to say it at the same time because I forgot what I was going to say. But what I meant was you normally would want to summon a champion with magic like that and then exit your empty your magic pile and then be able to reanimate your other units.
I agree.
Yeah.
Well, and I would have only probably wanted to reanimate what I could actually use that turn. Just as a general summoning rule, a lot of you know this, but a lot of you might not. I would never choose to summon a unit that I wasn't actually going to use on that turn for something. It can be to block. It doesn't actually have to move or attack. It could be just a blocking unit. It could be a unit to keep positioning near my wall so that my enemy can't take the space next to my wall, can't surround my walls. That's a legitimate reason to summon a unit. But if it doesn't have a purpose that turn, I typically don't summon it. But in this one instance, I did, so that I could reanimate, and I didn't want to waste a reanimate on only 1 unit, so I reanimated 2 because they're effectively free, and I knew Sirian was going to kill something this turn to get one of those wounds off. So alright, there we go. I did happen to hit 2 with my vampire, so he's going to get rid of the ice armor.
Yep.
And then there's the one with the warlock.
So what that
turn went pretty well.
Yeah, so forcing the ice armor would have just made sense in any situation because it didn't die and it was probably going to, like, the ice armor was going to go off anyway.
Yeah.
But it also saved an attack on Torgan, so now Torgan's still at full health.
It's true, yeah. Otherwise, I would have easily been able to shoot Torgan. And the reason I summoned what I did and kind of put it where I did was because Mad Sirian was, the previous turn, able to be surrounded quickly and easily, and now he's not. Now he's actually in a pretty good position where he can only be attacked from one side easily this turn. I guess you could, like, Ice Golem, Ice Armor, Glacial Shift over my Vampire, maybe?
Yep, except I don't have a Glacial Shift.
Yeah, exactly. So that's like a lot of cards to assume that you'd have, and it would only give you one more die on me, so it's not a huge deal.
Yep.
But it's possible. But I have a decent little... I have now a forward wall, and I've got the space in front of the forward wall has my Warlock on it, which means that you can't occupy that space and block off my wall.
Right.
So... Alright.
So here comes a shooter. It's in range of Mad Sirian.
I'm thinking about stuff to put on your units here, probably.
Yeah, I'm wondering if I should use... I have 2 ice armors in hand.
Yeah.
The 2 remaining ice armors. So I'm wondering if I should put one of them on the shooter just so Mad Sirian can't regain this health I want to take from him.
Ice armors are incredibly nice, but they can be a little bit hand clog prone.
Yep, that's definitely true because you don't want to build those.
Oh.
Far too valuable.
So you're doing a similar thing to me here where you're... Oh, okay, never mind.
Well, I'm...
First, you're ice armoring. There we go.
Yeah.
On the shooter.
Yep, and again, that's strictly for... I did have an ice golem also, so like I could have made an ice wall, but for what? Like I couldn't do anything with it. So I'm going to be able to shoot at Mad Sirian for 2, and Mad Sirian himself will not get the hit on the shooter. Anyway, he could transition to the Berserker, but that's... Like, I have to be able to kill these units, and if he leaves my shooter alive or prioritizes it with something else, then it'll be free to probably shoot him again. So I could then use the ice armor on that, and Torgan wouldn't take any hits from whatever's attacking the shooter. So.
Yeah. Forgot to plug in my computer. It almost died on us while we were watching the game.
But it didn't. That's how tough it is.
Built Mac tough.
Oh.
So yeah, you've got it in a nice spot now. You've got your stuff in a nice spot where I can't hit Torgan from 2 sides this turn, as much as I would love to. I would have liked it if you had killed my... Oh, there we go. You're putting the ice armor on him as well.
Yeah. So now Mad Sirian has no targets this turn.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to kill... So that was on Sirian? Yep.
Yes. 1 on Sirian, which is good.
Wound on Sirian. So now...
I'm thinking about... Alright. Oh! Berserker didn't kill Vampire.
Didn't kill that Vampire. Uh-oh.
That's bad. So now I actually could get into a position to kill something with the Vampire. Oh, and then you killed your own...
Yeah, instead of attacking the Warlock... I killed my own shooter. So I must not have put the ice armor on.
No, I think you took the ice armor off that, put it on the Berserker. Yeah. You changed your mind.
Yeah.
So my one criticism of this move is that it leaves another side open to hit Torgan.
Yep, that's true. I wasn't worried at this time because if I thought if I killed the Warlock, what could happen was the Vampire could be summoned there and fly over me. So that's why I didn't want to shoot at the Warlock.
Yeah, I agree. That's what I was hoping you'd do. Actually, I was very much hoping that you'd do that exactly.
And I think I intended to do that when I started my move by moving Torgan there, and then I realized that it wasn't a good idea to kill that Warlock. So instead, I killed my shooter for the magic and to deny Mad Sirian the opportunity to heal.
And you do have 6 life, so it's not likely I'll kill you this turn, but. This is the move I like. This is the move I was kind of... It's effectively the same as the move that you didn't want to make. Because my Vampire can still fly over you.
Yep. I wasn't thinking about the attack and fly.
Yeah, the flight after the attack phase.
Yep. And that is what is going to happen there.
After the attack itself. It's during the attack phase. So I'm reading the ice armor again just to make sure I have it. It's very confusing.
Yeah, I mean, it's so confusing that It's not.
It's not that confusing. I just wanted to make sure.
It's like when you do wounds, you discard it.
Yeah. So I was actually
During
trying
the
to figure out if you chose not to use it, whether or not I could
keep it as magic.
Keep it as magic.
But now it automatically gets discarded anyway. So another plus to the ice armor. There are no negatives to that card.
So I'm going to go ahead and maintain my wall position because I'm going to fly the vampire away and I don't want to lose my space on that wall. So I moved my warlock around. I've also got Mad Sirian where I have him kind of keep him safe, but also if the vampire were to do real well on this Berserker, then I could maybe shoot it with Mad Sirian, which you kind of see. So that was one hit on Torgan. Man, there's a fly that's flying around there.
Buddy.
I don't know what I was rolling that for. Oh, I was supposed to roll 3 because I used... No, that one must have fallen off the table. I don't know what happened. I'm sorry. Okay, yeah. Must have fallen off the table or something. I don't know, that little fly is, he's having fun.
Yeah, he's enjoying the game.
There we go.
6 and a 5.
Alright, so 3 out of 4. That's pretty reasonable. And then you're going to attack the Berserker with the Vampire. 2.
So yeah, Ice Armor's coming off.
There we go.
That was the third attack. No danger of Mad Sirian attacking the Berserker. So.
But also no danger for me of Mad Sirian getting hit next turn. So, yeah. Unless you use 2 glacial shifts on an ice golem with an ice armor.
Yeah, with
your last remaining ice armor with 1 attack. So I'm in danger of maybe taking 1 die. Maybe. So alright, and I really love where my vampire is. That was the key of this play.
Torgan's not a fan of this position right now, so hopefully my options here are get a unit up adjacent to those 2 warlocks and kill that vampire. And I don't want to kill either of the warlocks again in case there's a vampire that comes out with Forbidden Ritual.
Yep.
But if I leave the warlocks alive, then Forbidden Ritual is just going to hurt Torgan a bunch. So,
At this position, there's very little you can do to get yourself away because I've got you from 2 sides.
Yep. I just have to hurt a lot of stuff here, and hopefully, and not those 2 warlocks. That's what I can't.
Yeah. It's unfortunate that I put that warlock where I did, but I needed to keep that space available because otherwise you could have just run that Berserker up to where it's next to my wall, and I couldn't summon anything from there anyway.
Yep.
So it was good to keep a little better positioning if I could. And force you to move up against me. Maybe an unfavorable.
Crusher next to that cultist is just funny because...
Bad comedy.
Yeah, it's like if a unit had 3 health...
Torgan missed the vampires, which just happened. Yeah. It's kind of big sauce.
Yeah, Torgan missed the vampire, which is not good at all.
So that's kind of huge. Actually.
So now,
I put on the Crusher as if that was... There we go. Yeah. You wouldn't have just rolled 2 dice with a Crusher. That would have been kind of silly. Yeah, that's actually really big that Torgan hit the vampire this turn. Because it's not real likely I could have got more than 3 dice on him next turn. Maybe 4 if I got 2 Forbidden Rituals.
Right, 2 Forbidden Rituals, and then
that's odds, but not even like great odds. It's just kind of...
And then if they did miss, then they're gone. Those Forbidden Rituals are gone. So.
Then Torgan has an exit the next turn.
Yep.
Yeah, because I couldn't have actually gotten another vampire ready in time and gotten it into position. There's nowhere I can summon it since you didn't kill my warlock smartly. I have 1 Forbidden Ritual, Reanimate, Cultist, Vampire, Cultist.
Yep, so the Forbidden Ritual is going to be big here because that's 6 to hit 3, just from what we see on the board.
Yep. I think that's all it's going to be, too, because I don't think there's a way for me to get to that 3rd spot with what I have. Because of where you put everything. You very smartly put your Berserkers next to one another, otherwise I could maybe have put a wall down, reanimated onto where that closer Berserker is to Mad Sirian, and then flown over the other Berserker, or over your wall or whatever, and then hit Mad Sirian, or hit Torgan from 3 sides.
Yep.
But I can't do that. So I'm going to run away with Mad Sirian. I figured this was maybe a safe-ish play, because if I even do 1 wound to the Crusher, it's unlikely that he's going to wound me next turn.
Yeah, exactly.
If he does wound me next turn, you win.
Well, Yes.
Yes. Yeah. But I figured it was pretty likely that Sirian with 3 dice will do 1 or 2 wounds to the Crusher, and then he'll be in a pretty safe place.
So
but it doesn't matter.
That was game 2 because the
I got
Warlock
4 out
and
of
the
6
Vampire
there,
took
yeah.
it home.
Sorry, we have one more for you guys. Both those games were pretty fast and brutal. This last one is just a little bit longer.
Definitely see more of the deck in this next game.
Exactly. Because these might as well be base decks almost.
Yeah, so far.
So far we haven't played anything
That's
too
what
crazy.
we've seen. I haven't played a single Ice Golem. Evan hasn't played a single...
I played one Fallen Kingdom Cultist.
Yeah, one
Fallen
Fingdom.
Fingdom, yeah.
We played a Fallen Fingdom Cultist. What?
So I've got one, I used one card that was not in his base deck, but that's all so far. Sorry. Fingdom. Yeah. Thanks for calling me out there. That was good. I needed that. I can't get away with that.
No. I'm only here to help. All right. So
I get to go first again.
Probably gonna see that dumb ghoul run up and try dumb things again.
I like that opening in this matchup just because it gives the ghoul a kill, so he doesn't lose his health right away.
And he's not likely to die in the next turn, so he's still a threat.
Mm-hmm.
And if you do 2 wounds to the ghoul, it's gonna be able to deny itself next turn.
Yep.
Probably.
Yep. So it's in a pretty decent position, and the Warlock, it gets the Warlock up close too, so it has a decent shot on Torgan maybe in the following turns. Mm-hmm. And I don't need that Vampire this early, so I can get a magic for my next turn.
Oh yeah, I like that.
Misses.
Well, it's interesting. I like the opening ghoul a decent bit. Like
yeah, me too.
But I don't like to build ghouls in the deck. But
Mad Sirian also missed the Vampire.
Yes.
I just missed everything.
Oh yeah,
those turns are fun.
missing the Vampire too. Yeah, I mean, like. You wouldn't think that'd be a big deal, but I actually can reach the Vampire with that shooter if I wanted to.
And the Ghoul is reachable as well. You could just move Torgan, the shooter, and the Berserker, and then you have a decent shot at the Ghoul and the Vampire.
Yep, the Ghoul took a wound, so now it's killable. And the Vampire is within range. So
it's not. You have 50-50 on the Ghoul if you want with the Berserker. Okay, Wall, Berserker.
Yep.
Shooter. And for Glory.
For Glory, yeah.
Oh my.
Glory in the hand. Not gonna get rid of that. That's for sure.
I would never want For Glory in my first hand, except for maybe in this matchup, because normally it's just way too early and you don't have a way to set it up yet. And it always happens to me, and I'm really frustrated by it.
I've never been disappointed in any deck with the one event, like the one strong event, being in the opening hand.
That's a big one for me. I don't like that.
I do like it because I know I can count on it at any time, and just one card. Isn't. I mean, if I had other cards that I was worried about in my hand, then it'd be annoying. Well, I'd obviously discard them.
It's likely that you're going to hit a champion pretty quickly after your first hand. If you don't have one in your first hand, it'll be in the next 2. And then you've got half your hand you can't use until you have the magic to actually play a champion or to use your super card. And so it's just like really frustrating to me that I can't use what I have. That's like the same thing with Swamp Dominion. The same thing with actually, I don't know. Like Greater Burn, it doesn't matter when you use that. Really, that's not a huge card. Typically, anytime you can use that to some effect is like already. Effect. Yeah, that's all right. It's never going to be crazy. It's always going to be 2 wounds. So, but like with Swamp Dominion, which can be a massive amount of wounds, I don't want to waste that early. Like I want to wait and get it about mid game somewhere where I know I can drive it home. Except for, again, in a matchup like this where my opponent's going to be aggressive because Matt knows I'm going to be aggressive with Sirian. So then it's really nice to have.
Yeah, I mean that is true. Although the only reason, like, it's not ideal. Like second or third hand would just be objectively better to draw that card.
Yeah. But
I'm just so relieved to see it at some point that, like, I know it's not in the bottom of my deck, that it doesn't really bother me.
Yeah.
Is what I mean by it. Like, if it was in the bottom, that would be the worst.
That's definitely the worst. I agree with that.
But the fact that it's there means I can use it at any time, so I'm, like, content.
So, again, this wall placement, that's just been handy for me in this matchup. But I don't have anything special I can do with it.
Again, like, we could reanimate that tumbleweed from last game and get it to roll it.
So I'm liking this. This is not a terrible place, but it does... If Matt were to happen to have For Glory again really early, which is so unlikely, then he could maybe kill me next turn. And so I thought with like another Berserker, and he has enough magic for a Berserker, so then he'd have, what, exactly odds? to kill me. So I think, no, that's not a good place for Sirian. I need to rethink this. Yeah. And so I just moved Sirian away.
Yeah.
And
Sirian hasn't used an event. There's no need for him to get crazy so far.
And what I decided to do here is just take a pot shot at that Berserker instead of Torgan, because Torgan I'll get later. Mm-hmm. It's usually pretty easy to get at Torgan, but the Berserker maybe is magic for next turn, and I just want some magic.
Yep.
Maybe attacking Torgan would have been as good, I think, probably.
It's like, in that situation where you do only one wound, I'm not sure which is better, honestly.
Well, and the other thing is, I was hoping that you wouldn't kill my Warlock next turn.
Yeah.
I'm just making it harder
I like the positioning of the Warlock now better than fighting Torgan, because doing one wound is not that significant, I feel. No. Especially where the pieces are on the board, and then the Warlock's just going to get slaughtered.
The Warlock's going to get killed by both Torgan and the Berserker. This way, you'd have to buy something new to have odds on the Warlock. Mm-hmm. To have, like, win or better than 50 odds.
Yeah.
So that's good. So I'm either forcing you to buy something or making you take a 50-50 chance with your Berserker.
Right.
Here we go. So, or I'm getting Torgan to move into a position where he might be more vulnerable, maybe.
Yeah, so Torgan's getting wild, but not too wild.
Not too wild. You're still in a pretty...
Just a little bit wild.
I actually really like where he is.
Yeah. Right, no, I mean, I'm not worried about the spot he's in. He's just able to be attacked again.
If he'd killed the Warlock, and I got another wall and a reanimate / searching the stone kind of thing going on, I could put a vampire in between your two walls there, and another card where the Warlock, or just the Warlock could be there, and then I could hit you from two sides, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, again,
but I would have to have another wall.
Yeah, I mean, in some situations, you just, like, you want to assume a good hand at all times when you play this.
Yeah.
But you don't necessarily at the start of the game want to think they have the absolute perfect best hand imaginable.
Yeah.
Because otherwise you won't be able to make any plays and gain any ground. So
it's true.
You have to take the slightest risk by assuming they don't have like
an imperfect
hand.
Yeah, exactly.
to beat you in the early. Now in the late stages, I disagree. The deck is more. The deck is small. Yeah, it's smaller. You know what cards are in it at that point. You know you have a better sense of the odds at which they can draw those cards.
Yeah.
You're more wounded. Now you have to assume that they have the power plays at that point. But
yeah, I agree.
In the opening hand, you can't just you can't just assume they have the 5-card hand that they just drew into off the first hand and beat you.
Early game in general, I think that's true, and maybe even somewhat into the mid game, as long as your summoner still has a decent amount of life left. But you do have to worry about a little more with Sirian, because searching the stone means he could have his next 2 hands in addition to his current hand, because you're not usually drawing 5 cards fresh every turn.
That's very true.
So for Glory and Ice Armor, Glacial Surge, let's see here. Ice Armor, Glacial Surge, then some other stuff. Ice Golem, and then something else. Looked like maybe a Glacial Shift or something. I don't know. It's something like... It's an event.
That's my shooting hand.
Yes. So we get the Ice Golem out. That's kind of fun.
Yeah, did we see him?
And for Glory, is that what that is? No, it can't be. Okay, no, Glacial Surge.
Yeah, like what? I can't hit anything for Glory.
You're going to give your Ice Golem 2 attacks with
I
can't
shift. Hit him. Yeah.
With a shift. Yeah, you're going to use your shift and get 2 attacks with 1 unit.
Shift. All right, there goes
2 ice armor. So that's what that last event was. It was another ice armor.
Ice armor, yeah. You all saw that, I'm sure. So.
Yes.
I don't even think pausing could have seen that. I think it was just obscured.
Yeah, it was kind of a little far away, and then there was a glare.
Now, maybe with the text on the card, we could really deduce what that was.
You could all get out your cards at home and look at the length and positioning of the text. And
perhaps with more specialized equipment.
Yeah, exactly.
So we have a Berserker moving up. I'm keeping Torgan downstairs while trying to put a little bit of pressure on Sirian here, knowing the Ice Golem is not going to take any Sirian wounds. That's the goal again. That's what's so cool about Torgan's deck in this matchup, is that Ice Armors can be thought of as I'm not sure what to call them, but you can deny Sirian his wounds to heal. So that's very nice.
It's true. You're pretty much guaranteed that Sirian won't be able to heal from your units. Mm-hmm. And another thing he's done here is he's got a wall. He's almost guaranteed to have a wall on my side of the board next turn. and if he, because it's unlikely I can generate 3 wounds on the Ice Golem twice in a row.
Yep.
With 3 attacks.
Yep.
That'd be really hard to do, and so he probably has a wall on my side of the board, and if he doesn't, then he still has a unit on my side of the board with the Ice Golem and the Berserker, and he has an actual wall from his walls. His walls are long. He's got a long string of them, so he can summon from pretty much anywhere, and I've got a big old gap between my 2 walls, so he can just waltz right through and hit Sirian for a bunch of dice maybe next turn.
Yep.
If I don't get Sirian out of range.
Exactly. And
so I went with Gul-Dass.
yeah, still base deck as far as Evan's concerned. I guess we did see the Fallen Kingdom Cultist come out last game.
so Gul-Dass is nice in this deck in general. He's just a powerful summoner. He's a champion. Yes. Gul-Dass and the Summoning Stone.
Oh my.
But he's just a powerful champion for cheap, and he synergizes well with Sirian because Sirian can heal himself. So I went to reanimate there. And I'm going to go ahead and did I put those wounds on your Ice Golem as opposed to Sirian? Yeah, that's what I was supposed to do.
Yeah.
On to Sirian.
Evan's trying to sneak.
That's
if you notice, Evan does this sometimes. He tries to actually cheat in the games.
Yes, that's my strategy. I'm just doing too much too quick. They won't notice.
Now, this is very interesting. Gul-Dass, if Gul-Dass is going to do a wound to Mad Sirian, he's going to kill that Ice Golem.
Yeah.
But if I use an Ice Armor to save the Ice Golem, Gul-Dass doesn't do a wound to Mad Sirian.
Yeah.
So it's like a very good, so he's a very nice champion to have in this particular situation.
To counter this exact scenario. So I got 2 with Gul-Dass there, which means that Matt doesn't have to sacrifice an Ice Armor. And I don't do a wound to Mad Sirian either way.
Now, what I'm going to do is use an Ice Armor. The reason is, if I use the Ice Armor now, because what it means is I was guaranteed 2 wounds on the Ice Golem, which means the Warlock and the Cultist could just take off the other ones with 1 wound.
Yeah.
But if they each roll 1 wound, then I still have the other Ice Armor and have taken the same amount of wounds.
And I rolled with my Fallen Kingdom Cultist there. I rolled a natural 6, just a real 6, and I have to choose how many wounds I want to put on him before he chooses the Ice Armor, yes or no. So I just put 1 wound on him. I didn't want to do the wounds to my Cultist because I was worried that it would just die next turn and he would get better positioning on me. So I didn't want him attacking me from multiple sides. I kind of liked having that Fallen Kingdom Cultist there blocking up those spaces, and my Warlock just outright missed, which was unfortunate.
Yep. And see what I would have done, and see what would have happened if I'd done the other way, where I just accepted the 2 wounds. Then I would have had 2 wounds on my Ice Golem and 1 Ice Armor underneath, because I would have had to block that 6 to keep him alive.
Yeah.
So there was a chance I could take less than that if I waited on it. So I thought it was just slightly better to do it that way.
So, unfortunately, it leaves you with an Ice Armor on. Oh, and Bragg.
Here comes Bragg. Yep, so now that Ice Golem with the Ice Armor under it is now Braggified.
And gets his last Ice Armor put on it, too.
And I put the Ice Armor on that same Golem.
It's going to make him very hard to kill.
I decided not to show you my hand because I forgot. But not because anything exciting might happen. So hopefully I don't know if I have a shift, and I don't apparently in this hand. So, but that would have been the dream, was to have a shift there.
Yeah, right at the end of this game, we both missed a couple hands. That's just so we got a little excited.
Yeah.
So sorry, everybody.
Yep, and I'm moving Bragg up there. Because he's in no danger where he is right now.
Yeah.
And if I can, and Mad Sirian is wounded, so I can get potentially Bragg in there, maybe get the finishing blow. Who knows? Who knows what I can do up there? But right now, I do have two Ice Armors under that Golem. He needs to be hit by 5s or 6s to do any wounds. Bragg is just awesome in this deck for that reason.
So the Crusher actually does kill the Cultist outright.
Yep.
which
Yeah, Crushers
was
don't,
the odds for it to do that, but
Yep, Crushers don't care if a unit has 1 health or 3 health. It's the same odds for the Crusher to kill it.
Yeah.
So that Cultist
3
might
health
have
was
well,
nice. Yeah.
That Cultist might as well have been like a Sandcloak Scholar. I can't think of a more pathetic unit off the top of my head.
I was hoping that it would get 2 hits there and then kill itself, and then my Cultist would be completely fine, because that would have been really nice too.
Yeah, I was in this situation. I really wanted the Crusher to hit, and he did. So
I've had some great Crusher plays to win games too.
Mm-hmm.
I once had a Crusher that only needed to hit 1 wound,
Yep.
and it was wounded, and it got all 4, and I won.
It had to hit all 4.
It had to hit all 4 to win the game. It was on the Summoner.
Yeah, I'm sure Joe remembers that game.
Painfully, yeah. It was a great memory for me. It wasn't so much for him. So yeah, Matt's got my wall surrounded there, which is bad. My other wall, he's blocked off, so I don't have an easy way of getting through his ice walls to hit Torgan.
And here comes Gul-Dass. Yeah, Gul-Dass attack my ice wall.
So in this position, yeah, Gul-Dass could attack the ice wall, maybe kill it. If he does, that'd be great.
Maybe do a wound to Mad Sirian.
He's unlikely, yeah. But he's unlikely to do a wound to Mad Sirian because he'd actually have to get 2 wounds, and Bragg is preventing him from making that easy.
Oh yeah, that's very
so
true.
Mad Sirian will probably kill the Crusher, and then he'd only have 1 hit on him, and then 1 wound on him, and then the hopefully the Warlock will get 2 on the Ice Golem and force him to drop one of those, but probably not. Drop one of those Ice Armors. So I just feel like that puts Mad Sirian out of position too much, and maybe the because you can summon from the Ice Golem in particular, and maybe Gul-Dass is out of position there too much too. So I decide to go with a more defensive positioning. There we go. I kind of settled for this. I didn't love it, but you know. All right, and there we go. 4 actual hits.
4 hits
on a
even though Bragg is out.
A Bragged Ice Golem. A Bragged Walled Ice Golem. Yeah, that was bad. And then and so you lost the Ice Armor, so it didn't even do a wound to Mad Sirian for getting a crazy good roll like that.
Yeah.
And I got 1 real wound there with the Warlock. You decide not to lose your last Ice Armor, which was wise, and take the wound instead.
Yep.
Because otherwise he's no longer a wall and hard to kill.
Yeah, exactly.
And shift.
And I want to shift the Ice Golem this game.
Yeah, I mean that'd be great in this position to be able to shift him too. So you're probably only gonna have 1 more chance at that because next turn Gul-Dass will go to town.
Yeah.
And all he has to do is get 1 hit out of 4 dice.
Yep.
Which is very likely.
Now that Crusher might be able to go 4 for 4 on Gul-Dass, but not likely. So I'm sure that's not what I'm going to do here.
Yeah.
But because where the Crusher is now, he's actually serving as a nice wall clog, and I can get Bragg up there. I can get Bragg on the other side of the wall, the Berserker on the top part. So I can actually get a surround on the walls.
Yeah, complete surround on that wall would be great. So a couple a Berserker, Thwarter, Shooter, Fort Glory, and then something
That was
else.
a shift. That was a glacial shift.
Okay, the one that we missed in the middle? Or was that a Fort Glory at the end?
I thought that last one was the shift. It had like an S, it looked like.
You guys will have to... I think they're kind of far away from the camera. Maybe we'll correct for that in the future. Where the camera is these days, where we're kind of filming this stuff, it can actually be a little hard to get to the camera because it's behind the table. It's too much information. It's just kind of... We're working on the new layout of the new apartment. So the games filmed on this glass table are all at the new apartment where my wife and I live now. So it's a little bit... We're in flux as to how we want to film these games best.
So there's a shift.
There we go.
Let's see if that Warlock takes some damage.
Yeah,
Evan forgot about shift for a second that I have to roll for it.
Yeah, I thought he just got the wound. Matt doesn't cheat I do, so he told me he has to roll.
These are Tundra Orcs. Nothing comes to them. They take it. And I did not wound the Warlock. So...
Yeah.
I was hoping to, but that's okay.
Hopefully make you waste an attack on it.
That's another shift going up, and I do get 1 more ice wall to move.
It's big stuff there.
Yeah,
Dramatic wall movement.
Yeah, that was wow. Alright. So I'm doing my unit movements now. Easimo. And getting that Bragg. I was gonna say getting that whatever comment I was gonna say, but it was Bragg. So I said getting that Bragg up there.
Getting that Bragg. And then you're probably gonna kill my Warlock, but it is gonna force you to actually use an attack on the Warlock, which I like. As opposed to maybe whacking my wall with Bragg or the Berserker.
Right. not a huge, not the biggest loss in the world. The Warlock didn't go down as long as I hit it, and I did. Got the one hit on the Warlock.
Yeah, with the Berserker.
Yeah, so Gul-Dass doesn't like Thwarters at all, because he has a very low chance of killing them.
Yes.
So that Thwarter can go toe-to-toe with Gul-Dass.
So Ice Armors pretty much directly counter Mad Sirian. Gul-Dass pretty much directly counters Ice Armors, and Thwarters pretty much directly counter Gul-Dass.
Yeah, so we have lots of interesting counters going around out here.
That's really cool.
We're also...
Thwarters also counter Mad Sirian. Thwarters are just good.
Thwarters, yeah. Thwarters, there is no disadvantage to Thwarters. You can, if you want to kill them yourself, you can just do that. They don't trigger on your own units.
Yeah, and you could use Fallen Phoenix Cultists to hurt the Thwarters, or maybe Fallen Kingdom Cultists to just get a wound on it with its dying breath. But none of that's
perhaps
none of those are good ideas.
Perhaps the new Geomancers and Brat's deck, they don't mind Thwarters.
No, actually, they did very well against Thwarters.
Yeah, Thwarters.
So
fine.
There's Helkar.
Yeah,
I saw her.
Bolden.
Forbidden Ritual, Searching the Stone, Reanimate, and a Wall.
Yeah, lots of nice cards that'll do wounds to Mad Sirian. That's what I like to see.
Yeah, it's a little bit worrisome right now, but I'm pretty likely to be able to kill the Ice Golem this turn.
Yep. So depending on how Evan moves is how I'm going to deal with the Ice Armor situation on my Golem. Because if Evan keeps Mad Sirian next to the Golem, then I'll let Gul-Dass kill it. So Mad Sirian can't get any health back.
Yep.
If he moves somewhere else, if he moves Mad Sirian somewhere else, then I'll just let the Ice Armor play out normally to keep that Golem alive as best as I can.
Yeah.
The goal is to deny Mad Sirian the opportunities to heal.
So here we go. I'm going to play that wall just to try to bottleneck Matt and maybe give me a position to counterattack Bragg. Go for a reanimate. Here we go. So this is another way I can summon some units quickly onto the board.
Yep. And I don't mind just because Mad Sirian's taken a wound to do this at least.
Yep.
I feel like I have reasonable positioning here.
There we go. And I like this position for myself too.
Yeah, exactly. So what this means is Mad Sirian's likely to get a wound on whatever he wants because Gul-Dass attacks the Ice Golem. Even if I get rid of the Ice Golem, then Mad Sirian will, no matter what, have a shot at my Berserker to get some health back.
Yep.
So, because that Vampire will probably go against the Thwarter.
On the Ice Golem is what I decided to do.
Yeah. Oh, so yeah, the Vampire attacked the Golem.
Okay. I probably should have done that the other way around. Probably should have had the Vampire attack the Thwarter. But it's no big, really. But I do think that would have been better if I'd attacked the Thwarter with the Vampire and then Gul-Dass attacked the Ice Golem after the Vampire had moved away.
Yeah, that's probably true because the
Vampire
had a lower chance at hurting the Golem than Gul-Dass did,
and it had a higher chance of actually killing the Thwarter.
Yep.
So, oh well, mistakes. But
actually, he had a higher chance of killing the Ice Golem just because he has a 52, I believe, with 2 dice to get a 5 or a 6. 52%, but he has a 44% to hit the Thwarter.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean. But he has a higher chance of hitting the Thwarter than Gul-Dass does. Is all
right, yeah, definitely.
So now Sirian will get that, go back to 2 wounds. So now that Vampire was effectively free. I got the Ice Golem out of the way. No more Ice Armors this game.
Now Gul-Dass could potentially roll as much as he wants on the Thwarter because he's not going to hurt Mad Sirian by not killing it.
It's very true. And I should have attacked it just because probably, but I was a little worried that with 3 life left, if I did kill the Thwarter, if you had 4 glory, the Berserker has great odds.
Yes, that's very true. So that is definitely a risk that is not necessary because Gul-Dass can stand there and take some Thwarter hits for a while. So it's not a big deal. If I have 4 glory now, means I probably won't kill Mad Sirian.
Yeah.
I believe I'm out of Ice Armors. They all went down on that Golem.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you did too. You used all your Ice Armors. So we've got a Glacial something, a Glacial Shift again, 4 glory in the Berserker, and maybe a Shooter. What was that first card I missed?
I gotta make sure my thumb's not covering the entire text of my event cards in the future.
I mean, it's the Torgan's face on it, so we know it's a Torgan card.
He's not camera shy.
Yes.
The event is, I guess. I don't know. I can do another shift.
Yep, and 4 glory is possible right here for potentially the game. you have lower than a 50% chance, but you do have like a very reasonable chance of percentage-wise. Probably like a 30-something or a 40-something.
Yeah.
It's probably a 30-something. That's my guess.
Yes.
I'm estimating, actually. I'm not doing the math in my head.
Thwartissimo.
I'm lazy today with my math.
Yeah, so I just wanted to get a feel for the Thwarter.
Here's the
before
For
I played
Glory.
my events.
I think For Glory is actually going down now. So,
yeah. Interesting.
So you're going to go for maybe the game. At the very least, you're supposed to get Mad Sirian down to a position where I couldn't use any events anymore until I got Mad Sirian to hit something else, at which point I'm exposing him again. So
yeah.
I actually like this play a lot. You block off one of my wall positions, and if you... Here we go. You reposition.
Yeah, I didn't think that's what I did.
No, I think you changed something small about this. I think you... Yeah, no For Glory yet.
Yeah.
You decide to point at the board.
Yeah.
Oh,
don't you ever do that again, board.
We probably won't be able to see once we edit the video, and I put the our faces right there. Our faces will be over your finger.
Oh, okay.
He pointed at the board under our faces. There we go. We're paying for a wall. Then you're going to shift.
We're shifting.
This is wiser. I like this more.
Yeah, I knew. The reason I didn't think I did that was because I remembered an ice wall moving over a Thwarter. I was like, I must have summoned another one. But I didn't wound my Thwarter.
Didn't wound him, which is great for you.
So now I'm going...
I do like this positioning because it's unlikely I'll kill the wall.
I clog off some more summon points this way.
Yep. And another shift.
And I did another shift to get the wall behind Sirian. That's what I remember.
That's huge.
And I am now due for a hit, so of course it's going to happen, right?
You're due for a hit.
There we go. So I got the vampire.
Yep, that's also huge.
Yep.
Means I have to spend something to clog off that space again next turn.
Yep. So now there is a bragged.
And I can't
ice
easily
wall.
get to it because you just blocked the summonings point I would have used. Yeah, that's big.
Yep. So that I also didn't hurt myself.
That worked nice.
I do believe now is the time
for the For Glory.
For the For Glory.
Yeah, I think so too.
Because now I have the positioning covered better.
For Glory. Thinking.
Yeah. I might actually play 5 Glory. Oh no.
4 Glory and 7 years ago. I made a joke about that speech earlier, so that makes it better for Matt and I. I just earlier tonight made a terrible joke about the Gettysburg Address.
No, you did not.
So
no, yeah, he didn't. It was
call me
great.
a liar. All right, so you're coming up here.
The Gettysburg Address. Oh man. I live there. Oh. Okay.
Did you forget to put down For Glory? There we go.
No,
Glory
it's right
goes
there.
down to after the movement phase, of course, like normal.
Yeah.
And then Matt likes to play out of phase.
We play out of phase in this.
No, we don't play. You
part.
play out of phase. I didn't play anything.
Yeah.
You played out of phase.
I don't like it.
So you got 2 on me there, which is great for you because that means you're likely to get that extra 1 for me to be in a terrible position next turn.
Yeah, so that was just a normal attack from the Thwarter. For Glory is still fine on Thwarters. They don't care about that. But so Bragg just didn't get any hits. That's fine.
Yeah, because he was just tagging the wall.
Now we're like For Glory. And,
For Glory on the Berserker.
Berserker, come on, kill him. So nothing.
Nope.
I really just wanted to get 5. That's
that's all. 1 more wound would have done it.
Yep.
And you should have had it.
Yep.
And nothing with that Thwarter. And yeah, it doesn't matter the Thwarter right now because I have no way of getting to the Thwarter with a different unit besides Gul-Dass, who had to get 4 hits anyway.
Do you even have 1 attack value units in this deck?
Yeah, the Fallen Fienddoms.
Yep. Those will
do it just fine.
Yeah.
And Helkar right there.
Yeah.
Searching the Stone, Forbidden Ritual, Cultists, and the Warlock. There we go. So I could Forbidden Ritual and then attack the Thwarter and have to hit 5. I could do that.
That's crazy.
I could
talk.
Searching the Stone and do a wound to Mad Sirian.
Wound on Mad Sirian, so I like.
And then I could summon something off of one of the other walls when I could still just summon something right now during the summon phase off of one of those walls.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like normal where I could summon during the event phase. Usefully. Because I've already played all my walls. All my tricks are kind of out there right now.
Yep.
And Sirian's too hurt, and I can't move him up I can only move him one space, and I can't move him to that space because then I'll just give Matt the ability to summon behind Sirian and block me in further. There's really nothing I can do to get Sirian out of this terrible position. I don't even have the... Gul-Dass is actually kind of blocking me. Otherwise, maybe I could summon like a vampire and do some cool thing where I fly over Sirian to protect him from another side, but I can't do that because I'm just too jammed up back there.
Mm-hmm.
So I do get a cultist out there. I'm just going to try to kill Bragg in the next couple turns. I do play Forbidden Ritual, I think, here.
Mm-hmm.
So this gives me not the chance to kill Bragg this turn unless I get 4 wounds with my cultist and then choose to hit the Warlock on the Berserker and then shoot through the Berserker space with Mad Sirian. And if that were really to work out that way, that'd be fine.
You mean Gul-Dass on the Berserker?
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, that's and then Mad Sirian will shoot through it.
Right.
Yeah, that's. Sorry, I might have said that wrong.
No, you said Warlock to Berserker.
Oh, yeah, no, it's not. It's not a Warlock. It's a gigantic monster.
Yes.
So I didn't get the prerequisite wounds on Bragg with the cultist to make that possible play work out. It would have been an unlikely play. So I just kill the Berserker with Sirian, get a wound taken off, prolong the game as much as I can, and then Gul-Dass will just take a wound because I'm too worried about what if he did kill the Thwarter and then Sirian's at 2 life, and then Bragg just shoots him 2 for 2.
Yep.
That's very possible, and it would be frustrating. And you could just get a Berserker and go 3 for 3, but that's kind of unlikely. So
yeah, that's not.
And then you just give me more fodder to shoot at with Sirian if you do that.
This isn't totally ideal just because of this. Sirian has a choke that he can use to keep regaining health.
Yeah. You've used all your shifts and your ice armor, so you can't really deny Sirian anymore from getting his life back.
Now there is Raldag in this deck, and that is why in the first game I wanted to keep my Crusher alive for the game, just in case Raldag comes out, and then I can actually use that Crusher to its full effect.
If you were able to save up right now and get Raldag out back there and another unit with those 2 walls behind Sirian, you could get extremely high odds at 2 hits on Sirian.
Yep.
So if you just save a little bit and keep in this position, you are actually likely to win because of Raldag.
Yep.
If it had been anyone else, you wouldn't have necessarily... It could have been very dice-oriented who actually wins this game, because, again, Sirian can go pretty much indefinitely. But I like your play here.
Mm-hmm. So what I'm thinking here is the shooter is now in position to attack Sirian for 1 or 2. Then potentially that Thwarter underneath the shooter can give him a little whack, and then Bragg now has the 2 for 2 opportunity also. So that
it's definitely dependent upon that 1 roll with the Thwarter, and then you'd still have to get 3 for 4 normally.
Yep.
So you have to get 4 out of 5, but they are selective in what order they happen in. So it's less than a normal 4 for 5 would be.
It's actually what it is a 66% of a 60% roughly. Is what my odds would be.
So a little below 50 to win this turn. But if you can even get yourself to 5, you've got yourself in a great position for the next turn. Yeah. And it's only a 1 magic play, so it's not a big deal.
Right. So the better way to think of that is 2/3 of 60, which is 40. So this is a 40% turn.
Yeah.
Is what it is.
Yeah. And if you miss it again, you're likely to at least get 2 wounds, in which case you... 2 wounds with the shooter.
Yep, so the shooter got 2 wounds. So now there's no decision to make here. It's definitely Thwarter to my own shooter.
Yep. And if this hits, then you've got a really good shot at the game. And if you don't hit it, then you've given me a pretty decent position.
And the die rolled off the table.
Yeah.
So some extra tension.
It did actually. It was a hit. There we go.
So
here we go.
So
2 to hit 1.
Bragg straight to Sirian's face. Oh, good game.
Exactly
3.
the dice. That's good. So yeah, that was a really exciting game. It could have
Yeah.
gone on longer with Sirian sucking up some life, and eventually maybe I get out like Helkar or whatever my last champion even was.
Karthos, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, I was. I knew what two I was going to Gul-Dass and Helkar, and then the third one I was like, what do I use? So
Yeah, that's interesting. I don't remember because it never came out. So.
yep. Well, it's in the description if you guys want to know. It's in the description below the video. So but yeah, 3 great games, 2 really cool second summoners, much more exciting matchup than I thought it would be.
Yeah, exactly.
One of my favorites now, actually.
That was an awesome game. We don't play Torgan enough, so that was fun.
Yeah,
We played Torgan a lot in the past, but just haven't recently. So
Yeah.
it was refreshing.
Especially me, I really took a liking to Torgan because Tundra Orcs were once upon a time my favorite faction way back in the day with Grognak, but it's been a while.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, thank you so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you next time.
Till next time.
SummoNerds out.